Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. I'm joined again by Beth from United Stand. Beth, how is oneself?
I'm okay. Bit disappointed. Obviously, at the time we're filming this, we've just come off the back of a defeat at Brighton. Obviously, Brighton are a really tough team to go to, especially away in the league and go and beat. But yeah, I'm okay. Looking forward. I would say I'm looking forward to Sunday, but to be honest, yeah, our away record this season is horrendous. If it was at home, I'd be confident, but I honestly not too confident going into Sunday, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on the West Ham channel.
I know last time you came on with a little bit of cocky and swagger about you and said, we'll do all right this season. And you've won the
Hey,
Carabao Cup since then. So
did we not win though that night,
you
that day?
did. Yes. Let's not.
3-1 if I remember
All
correctly.
right, all right. Let's get back to this one. What's your thoughts on your season so far, though?
It's a tough one. I am very happy with the season because I do think we've overachieved. Towards the back end of the season, you can tell that we're running out of steam massively. That our squad is on the floor. We're suffering with injuries. We need investment in the summer, and I know it's obviously different for me to come on here and say, we spent 200 mil. We need another, amount of money spending, and I get that. Like it's different for different teams, but when you look at our team last season, worst ever points tally from a United team ever. Ten Hag's come in, and again, we've won the Carabao Cup. People in the comments might say, "Oh, it's only an energy drink cup," but at the end of the day, it's a trophy, and United haven't won one in six. I think it's 6 years. He hadn't won one before that. So in his first season, to win the first trophy available, very very happy about that. And Newcastle are a top side, and we managed to beat them at Wembley quite comfortably too. So we did that, which I'm very happy about. So coming towards the back end of the season, though, a couple of red flags. Second half of games, we keep falling off massively. The football's declining. Injuries are a problem, and some gaps in our team are really starting to show massively need of a striker. I mean, you wouldn't have Weghorst out front for you. Like Southampton wouldn't have Weghorst out front for you. He's awful. He's honestly awful. Massive need of a striker. Martial can't stay fit to save his life. Massively need a midfielder as well, and I think we need a goalkeeper too. So I think it's obvious we need some investments, but just hopefully if we can get top four over the line, which I think we should be able to, all in all, a good season for us and move on into next season.
Why do you drop off in the second half of games? Is there anything to it, or?
I don't know. Honestly, a lot of us are saying like Ten Hag really needs to kind of look at this because as a manager at half time, you should be able to get your team up and ready for the second half to either go again or or even in the first half, we need to be finishing off games, which we can't do. Like we create chances, but we can't finish them. And this is what I would say to opposition fans: if you're going to, if we were against West Ham, well, we are against West Ham at the weekend, you go into half time 0-0. I think that's a brilliant result for West Ham because United in the second half, first 10 minutes, we've conceded quite a couple goals at this point in the season in that. And if we don't do that, our attack starts to tail off as well. It's just, I don't know if it's the energy. Obviously, United have played the most games in Europe. That could come into the factor of it. And the squad isn't as good as the top teams. So maybe it's the amount of games we're playing. Maybe it's just the back end of the season and the injuries, like fatigue mentally is creeping in. I'm not sure what it is, but it's something that definitely needs to be addressed going into next season.
0-0 at halftime. You are speaking straight to David Moyes' heart here. He'll be rubbing his hands at that because that will be our tactics, possibly. Are you worried about throwing away the top four? I mean, a week or so ago, it looked like you had it all but secure, really. But like you said, a defeat against Brighton, Liverpool's continuing to win games and whatever. Are you starting to get a little bit nervous, or are you still confident?
I'm still confident. I think it's only 3 wins we need. And, taking that into account, we've got Bournemouth, who are actually doing quite well, but I still think we beat them at home. Like, at Old Trafford, we haven't lost a game in the league since the first day of the season. So we've got Bournemouth, we've got Fulham on the last day of the season. I see us beating them, if I'm being honest with you, on the last day. You've got United will have that push at home with the fans. And we also have Chelsea at home, which...
Oh, well, there you go then.
Honestly, if we don't beat them, I mean, it'd be Man United all over for Lampard to get his only win against United. But if we don't beat them, then it's, we don't deserve it, to be honest with you. Like we have to beat them. So I am confident in it. I wouldn't like it to be this close, though. I wanted to finish above Newcastle. I don't think that'll happen now, though. I don't. Newcastle are really looking good at the minute. And, I said if Liverpool get top four and manage to do that, I would delete my account. I would just move away. Like, it can't happen. But no, I'm confident. I'm confident.
Harry Kane, your number one target for the summer?
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. I don't know. Obviously, in the United fan base, there's very split decisions on this. I'm not sure if you know about that, but
Well,
there's
no,
a
I'm
lot
not.
there's a lot of people that don't want Harry Kane, which is mental to me.
What's the reasoning behind it? What's the
People don't want him because of his age, and apparently he's not got the mentality because he's never won anything at Spurs. But I mean, for me personally, and people have different opinions on this. Yeah, bringing in someone at 30 years old isn't necessarily what you would want, but this is Harry Kane we're talking about. He's world class. He's scored 20 plus goals in the Premier League for the last 6 seasons. The injury record thing's a myth. He did have a bad injury, but he's not. I don't think he's had a injury that's kept him out for more than like one game in 2 years when I was looking at it. So the injury record thing is a myth. Yes, you're only probably going to get 2 or 3 very good years out of him, but then you move on and buy somebody else. Like Harry Kane is honestly world class, and I mean, looking at what we've got now, he would improve this team tenfold. I mean, look, we went and got Robin van Persie when he was 30.
Well, that's what I was way to say. It's very similar to Robin van Persie, isn't it? That you're buying someone that just goes straight in. There's no, he might be good enough in 2 years, or you might buy him and loan him out, or he's coming in as backup or to compete with someone for a team. He's coming in and he's going straight into that starting 11 and putting Martial on the bench. And I think he's very similar to Robin van Persie signing. And the winner's mentality thing, you can apply that to 90% of footballers, though, easily. You could say Casado from Brighton, well, we can't buy him then because what's he won? Well, forget it. But he's a top talent. So I think the mentality thing's a Spurs thing rather than a Harry Kane thing.
That's what I said. I was like, and then people are like, well, he missed that penalty for England. I'm like, come on, everyone can miss like a penalty. Like it's honestly so. I just don't think it's a good argument. And like you said, Spurs Spurs are Spurs. Like people have said it so many times. Spurs are Spurs. There's 11 players on that team. Whenever they end up coming back in games, it's always him getting them back into him. I mean, just against Liverpool, I mean, they nearly won it. Sorry, they nearly ended up getting that draw, but obviously they didn't. That Richarlison thing was absolutely hilarious. But Harry Kane got them back into that. Against us, we played them obviously at their stadium, and we were 2-0 up again, second half of games. He got them back into that. Like, he's a top quality player. And I think anyone who doesn't see that is, I don't know what they're looking at, if I'm being honest with you, but there is other options.
I struggle. I think he should be a number one target. I think Rashford would thrive off him as well. You've seen
Yeah.
the partners. It's a bit of a lazy one to compare him to Son, but there is similarities there between the way that both players can play on that left-hand side and behind Kane. And it's just a better version of what you've tried to do with Weghorst, really, which is have that physical presence up front that somebody can bring other players in play. I don't get it either. I think Harry Kane's the obvious signing for you this summer, to be honest with you. Apart from him, is there anyone else you're hoping to see, or any other positions? I know you've mentioned a few, but in terms of priorities,
priority would be, you just mentioned him, Casado from Brighton. Love the guy. The only thing is, with United this season, with the ownership situation, who knows what kind of funds we're going to have. We've got this financial fair play that we've got to sell players to abide by it, because obviously spent a lot of money, put a lot of it on debt, paying it back year by year. So it's going to be tough. If we want to get Harry Kane, I'd expect Harry Kane to cost between 80 and 100 mil. I even with a year left on his deal, we know what Daniel Levy's like. Do you think we can get him out though? I do think we could get him, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. And then he's worth it though, realistically. And then if you want to spend again on that, Casado, I mean, I think they wanted 70 mil from him off Arsenal in January. Like, he is worth it though, realistically. He's a top talent, 21 years old. I mean, Man United actually nearly signed him way back when, before Brighton, for 2.5 million, but we ended up not doing it, which is, so always happens with us. Nearly signed Camavinga as well, and didn't end up doing that. But yeah, Casado's my number one. The reason why is because obviously Casemiro has been a brilliant signing for us this season, but Casado can play 8 and 6. When Casemiro's out injured or he's, got another red card, Casado can play. He can learn under the best. When Casemiro's playing and we're in them away games where we need someone who can break up the play, he's really good on press resistant. He can do that. Like, he's another player that I really rate, and I've got a lot of stick in the fan base as well for saying I think we need a goalkeeper. David De Gea just can't do it, playing out from the back. People slander me consistently for saying it. He is a club legend, but you've got to know when to move on. And just hoofball up the pitch, giving the team the opposition the control is not the way Erik ten Hag or I want to play, to be honest.
Interesting.
What are your thoughts on De Gea? Sorry.
Oh, I'm not his biggest fan. I think he's one of the best shot stoppers in the Premier League.
Yeah,
that's where it stops for me. I think distribution wise, I think he's a liability for you, truth be told. I think coming for crosses, I've seen him play well in some games, but previously he's been a bit hit and miss. But listen, 1-on-1s in shot stopping, there's no complaints at all. But that's okay if you want to finish in the Europa League spots. But if you want to go win the title, you need a bit more than that, I think. And if you look at what Man City's got, do you know something? De Gea's better. I think De Gea's a better shot stopper than Ederson. But Ederson is like a centre back and goal with the ball at his feet to some extent. Then you've got Alisson, who I think is one of the best in the world. You see what Ramsdale is doing at Arsenal. He's always got a mistake in Ramsdale, but his distribution, I think, is up there, and it allows you. I mean, you've just played Brighton. You've seen it with what they do with Steele. Dunk and Webster don't mind playing 1-2s with him and in around the 6-yarder just to get you to encroach on them so that they can get that space for their midfield. And that's what I think you're missing, really. I think you're missing that confidence of playing. I remember when you played Brentford at the start of the season and he was trying to play. It was a nightmare. It was difficult to watch, and I was supporting Brentford that night, and I was finding it difficult to watch what De Gea was trying to do. I just thought, oh no. I actually thought Ten Hag might have subbed him at one point because he just could not do anything that was required of him with the ball at his feet. And so, yeah, I think you need a new keeper. But I'm a fan of Henderson.
Me too, and I get slated for that too.
He's been injured. He's gone to Forest, so it's like, let's have a look at him. But because of his injury, you've not been able to work out if he's good enough for Man United's #1 shirt or not next season. So that's unfortunate for you, because I think it would have been a great club for him to go to have a look at him and decide if he's good enough to replace De Gea or not. But that's not worked out really. But I'm a big fan of Henderson, and I think the problem you've got is you've got two really good goalkeepers, but you don't have an elite goalkeeper. And if you want to win the title, I think you're going to need one, and that's all I'll say. Next season, though, you've got to be challenging for the title then. Surely, if you get that, what you want to see.
If we sign well, if we sign a Kane or an Osimhen, we sign a midfielder, I think we need a goalkeeper. I don't think we're going to sign one, though. But if we sign some really top quality players, there's a chance. But I just look at City and I think, what's the point?
I didn't say win it. I didn't say win it. I said challenge for it. And two different things.
I don't think Arsenal will be as high up there next year, if I'm being honest. I think they need a good summer. They massively need a striker as well. Jesus is good, but they need someone else. They need some investment. But I think if United sign well, we've got to be challenging a lot more than what we are now. Yeah, we've got to be challenging for it. But I mean, you just look at City with Haaland and Alvarez and like all the quality they have all over the pitch, and they're just going to go again in the summer. So it's honestly the toughest league in the world to try and win off City. It really is, because they're the best team in the world. Let's be honest, like they are. So I expect us to try and challenge, but to say we'd win it, it'd just be foolish, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Right, from your team to my team, what's your thoughts on West Ham?
Thoughts on West Ham? Well, last time we spoke, I think there was a lot of people wanting Moyes to be sacked, I think.
That still remains. Don't worry.
It still remains.
Oh, that still remains.
And I think I was one of them that said, I think if you want to stay up, I'd probably keep him. I think I said that. I think that would always what I said. And to be honest, you are going to stay up, aren't you? We
need a point or two, but it looks incredibly likely. Yes.
Even though I still think that team is capable of doing more. I really do, and it's not great football, but I do think West Ham, obviously, you're going to stay up, and that was the main objective for you. Looking towards next season, I would be interested to know your opinions. If you do stay up, I mean, Moyes probably will stay in the job, but do you think it would be West Ham's best interest to get maybe a more progressive manager in?
Yeah, I'd like to get rid of him. My mind's been made up for a while, and I can be quite stubborn sometimes, Beth. I can be quite, this is my opinion. But I always say, when you get new data, reevaluate, right? Game by game, reevaluate. Some people call it fickle, whatever. But I think if you think a player's poor and he has 3 good games, I think you're entitled to change your opinion on that player based on the last 3 games. But anyway, even if we stay up, and even if we win the Conference League, I'm going to throw that in there as well. I'd still like him to go in the summer. I the football's been terrible. 95% of the games this season's been unenjoyable. Even some of the games we won, we beat Fulham recently, which was a vital win for us. We had like 23% possession, barely had any shots, and the goal we scored was an own goal. It was just dreadful. But it's not only that. You speak about spending 200 million. We spent 200 million this season, and we've gone backwards.
Wow, you actually did, haven't you?
Yeah, we did. We've got in Skamaka, Paqueta, Emerson, a Gerd, and then in January we went and got Danny Ings for 15 million. We've spent 200 million, and we're playing like we've spent 2 million. We are playing the way that we approach games as if we are the underdogs, and we're going away to, well, maybe not Bournemouth, but we're playing teams that have a fraction of the budget, a fraction of the talent that we've got, and we're playing them as if we are not as good as them. And it's rubbish to watch. I just don't enjoy it at all. I don't like it. I'm a bit of a romantic when it comes to football. I like football to be played in a certain way, and it's not enjoyable. So I would like him gone, even if we win the Conference League. And I think the worst thing is I think he will remain beyond the summer. I think he'll be here next season, and I'm already sort of not looking forward to next season. The season's not even finished yet, and I'm already like, I can't be bothered next year now, because it's the final year of his contract as well, which I always think is a dangerous thing for a manager, because the players will stop playing for him. Manager gets demotivated, and you're in this lull of just waiting for the end of the season so the manager can go. All because we don't want to give him a few million quid to do one, essentially.
Well,
yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, I watched the game against Palace recently that you played, and obviously offset pieces, you are quality offset pieces, I have to say, but defensively it's not good, is it? It's really not good. And you look at like what De Zerbi's doing with Brighton, Unai Emery coming into Aston Villa, like West Ham, they're not quite as good as them teams, but they have players there. Like Paqueta, Paqueta benches Bruno Guimaraes for Brazil, like, and he's not getting a tune out of him at all. And that's, the manager's got to do better on that. I mean, I think there is a player in Skamaka, and again, he's kind of give up with him a little bit. And there's Bowen, brilliant player, I think. Declan Rice, obviously, I think he's quality, and he's probably going to leave in the summer though, isn't he? But you look at the team, and you should be getting a lot more out of that. And if you had a manager, even the Lopetegui at Wolves is more progressive. Like, I think it is time, probably, if I was in West Ham's position, where I would look at a more progressive manager that are working really well in the Premier League now. You have the Moyes and the Hodgsons and Sam Allardyce now that have been here and Sean Dyche, the ones that have gone and done it and have that particular way about them. But if you really want to develop as a football inside, I think you probably should change it up, to be honest with you. That's my opinion anyway.
That's why you're my favourite presenter from the United stand, Beth. Do you think we'll win the Conference League?
What teams are left in it? Sorry, I should have probably researched this.
Yeah, we play Alkmaar, and in the other semi-final, Fiorentina are playing Bâle.
Ooh. Fiorentina are quality, aren't they? Like, am I right in thinking Fiorentina have Amrabat, don't they? That's the team that. I honestly think you have the capabilities to win it. I think you do have the capabilities to win it. I expect you to get past the team you're about to play. I know, like we were speaking about before, the Dutch league, they're doing quite well. I still expect you to get past it. The Premier League is one of the best leagues, is the best league in the world. The quality of the Premier League is up there. I expect West Ham to get past it. And to be honest with you, I mean, it's not been a great season for West Ham. You'd expect the players now to really kind of want to go out there and fight for that, because it'd be brilliant for West Ham to win that competition. So do you know what? I'll say it. I'll say I back you to win it. I will back you to win it, and I'll be watching closely. I will. And one of us is still in Europe. We got knocked out, didn't we?
Yeah, us and Man City are flying a flag for England at the minute. I was going to ask you about Moyes. I've got that answer. Right, Sunday night, how do you see this game going?
I'm nervous, to be honest with you. Man United, despite West Ham's poor defensive record, which I was just doing a show before this, and I think you've conceded 9 goals in 3 games, which, is not a great record. Despite that, we can't score. We are really struggling to score goals. We create chances, but there's just not any bite because we don't have a good enough striker. But with Man United, you never know. Like Harry Kane just said in his press conference, every time we've had a poor result, United have bounced back. And that's one thing that makes me confident. Whenever we lose a game, it's very rare we lose the next one. We usually do come back and win. So I think it's going to be edgy. I don't think it's going to be a real high scorer. I can see it potentially going into halftime at 0-0. Not many Man United games at the minute are high scoring. I think it just depends on the day, what West Ham and what United turn up, to be honest with you. If you really, really turn up, Moyes always wants to impress against us. We know that. So it could go either way, but I do think Man United will win the game. I do think we will. I think Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, it's just a bit too much quality, I think. So I do think we'll win. And plus as well, you're not going to be happy to hear this. In Erik ten Hag's press conference, he said Garnacho might be back.
Oh, wonderful. That's what we need, isn't it? Options off the bench. Fantastic. That's just what we need. He's
what we've been missing. And you saw it yourself in the FA Cup when Garnacho came on and scored. Like, it's what we need. He's an impact player. Like Sancho, as sad as it is, like he's just not impacting games for us. Garnacho is an impact player. We need him back. So if you can get 10 or 20 minutes out of him, that'd be good for us. But don't get me wrong, offset pieces, you have a massive, massive chance against us. Offset pieces, we've been horrendous. We're really poor at defending them, and we know how good you are in the air. So that could be a worry for us. That's definitely somewhere where you could get joy out of us. But I think on the counter attack, United can be deadly. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a good game. But ultimately, I'll probably say I reckon we'll win the game 2-1.
Interesting.
What do you think?
I think you'll win it 2-1 as well. I think there's a bug going round at the minute. Now, I'm a bit sceptical as to how genuine said bug is, but apparently another player's got... Now, Rice, Sagard and Souček missed the Man City game because of it. They're back for the Man U game. But there's a player that's just been sent home today from training because they're now ill. And Subval went off with a hamstring injury against Man City. Whether he's out or he just felt it as a precaution, we don't know. Moyes hasn't said anything in his press conference. He'll be in part of the embargoed section, so that'll come out late. But if he doesn't play, Rashford will tear us apart. We will either play Thilo Kehrer out of position at right back, and he's horrendous at right back, or we'll play Ben Johnson, who's got absolutely no confidence whatsoever. He's been ripped. He's been shot. Had a couple of poor games, and he's got to the point where we just can't use him. We cannot use him anymore. He looks scared on the football pitch. So at right back, we'll have Kehrer or Johnson. And then you can have Rashford, and then, like you say, you can sub him off and take on Garnacho or put Rashford up front for Martial once Ten Hag concedes that Martial's not working. Rashford will go up front, Garnacho will come on, and he'll rip him apart. So I'm dreading that battle down your left-hand side on Sunday. I'm really not looking forward to it. So I think you've just got too much for us at the minute. And like I said, just not enjoying our football at the moment. Moyes will approach this game like we're playing Alex Ferguson's Man United. And so I'll say 2-1 Man U as well.
Interesting. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what does happen. But I'm glad you've told me that now, because I actually didn't realize about that, and it's definitely a good advantage for us. I think last time I was on, I swear you were bigging up Ben Johnson to me. You know,
I quite liked him. He was in good form earlier in the season. What happened was he played a poor game against someone in the Premier League. Brighton. He had a really bad game against Brighton. I mean, the whole team did, but he was culpable for a couple of goals. And then we had a European game the following Thursday against Larnaca, a really poor side. We should have played Ben Johnson, just get him back in the team and let him get through this, like get Brighton out. But we didn't use him. We didn't play him. So then we put him back in, and he's just, since then, his form, his confidence is just gone. And in the last game we played, he came on against Man City, and within about a minute, he collided into Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish was just standing there, and we all know what Jack Grealish wants. He wants the right back to come at him. Ben Johnson just ran straight at him, so Grealish nicked the ball past him, and Ben Johnson clattered into him. And just thought, you've just fallen for the most Jack Grealish trick there is. And it's just, I feel really sorry for him. I really, really do feel sorry for him, but we just can't use him at the minute, Beth. It's horrible to witness, really, to be honest with you.
Well, you need some investment in the summer as well, I assume, like especially probably in the defensive areas. Is Kurt Zouma available?
He's injured as well.
He's injured. I thought he was injured. He came off injured, didn't he?
Yeah, you booted him on the ankle, so that's him out. We don't know how long for. Moyes has been a bit coy on it, but he won't be back for Sunday. I'd be shocked if he is, but I don't think he'll be back for Sunday. So, yeah, we're missing Zuma, possibly missing a right back. Someone else is ill. All the players that are good are knackered, so we're not in a good place right now, all right? Anyway, Beth, thank you so much for joining me. A pleasure as always. You guys at home have enjoyed it. Please do drop a like on it, subscribe if you damage chat, and myself and Beth, well, we'll catch you next season, assuming we get that extra point. Catch you in a bit.
Thank you. Bye.